For me, when I start welding these wires together, I use about 2 to 3 amps, and that works pretty good.
Welcome back, guys. I'm gonna go over a couple little things with you. In the last episode, we got the windows, the electric rear windows sorted out. They go pretty good. Still a little bit of fettling, but nothing too crazy. I think they'll work just fine. Mainly when I get the seals in the windows here. That's when it's gonna be a little funny, I guess. But I'm pretty confident it'll be able to shut and close as it should. And in between doing those windows, I did some front engine stuff here too. I got a lot of the cooling pipes and the turbo stuff kind of sorted out, and a lot of the wiring too. You probably remember seeing like a mess of wires here. I kind of cleaned that up a little bit. There's still loads of wiring to do, but let's see what I got here. Oh, I got a horn installed, just one. For me, I am using a blow-off valve, but I'm using a diverter valve, so it's going to be half atmospheric and half diverted back into the intake. Now, I don't know if you can see this pipe right here, but I did make this little, it's not stainless, but it is an 1.125" pipe, and it does divert all the way back to this side, back into the intake down there, and stuck a bolt in that hole. I gotta figure out where that used to go to. But it is important that I do have that. So with these Audis and Volkswagens, they use a mass airflow sensor, so it is metered air that gets sucked in. So when you blow off all that air, it still thinks it's getting the air into the intake, so it's gonna run either rich or lean, however you want to put it. So it is nice to divert some of it, or at least half of it, maybe even more, back into the intake. Nonetheless, that little pipe came out pretty good. The connections are all TIG welded, and then the little bracket here sits on top of some alternator stuff. But yeah, fits nice and tight in there. A little pain in the ass to make it. Squeezes right behind the fan here. So that's sorted. Did some plugs on some of the wiring here. The heater cord gets a little plug too over there. What else? The wiper bottle gets a little plug there. I got my windshield wiper actuator back in here. I actually had to move it forward quite a bit. The holes don't line up no more, so I have to fill some holes over here and drill some new ones and do another line of holes right here. I had to bump the whole thing forward because it does hit the part of the heater core assembly, mainly the ducting in the back. So it is very close back there. That little square pipe, you see it right there. Doesn't follow it now, but it is super close in there. But all seems to, they're getting along in there. It's tight space, but they're getting along. Go back over to the inside of the car here. So I got this mess of wires. I think I'm gonna sort through a little bit of this. Some of them, like these plugs down here, do have to run into the engine bay. I have a crank position sensor, an O2 sensor, and 2 other sensors. I don't really know what they are, but I do have them labeled on the engine side. So I will be trying to lengthen these wires. That's probably what I'm gonna do real quick. I do have to untangle this fish line of mess here. I got the battery tray bolted in here. Thing's actually pretty solid. I got it right here in the middle as best I could. There's a little a grounding port on this side. It is tapped. I believe it's an M8. I did that a while ago actually, but I got this sorted in here. I was kind of waiting because I didn't know where I wanted to put it, but there is a reason it's in the middle and not off to one side, and I can show you that when I get a battery. What else do we got going on over here? I'll get some interior lights. I got a little guy up there. The wiring's sitting inside the pipe, and I have it drilled. I don't think you really want to drill in your roll cage, but I'm not really racing this car. She's gonna be a street car. But there's the wiring coming out there. Shoots to the front. And I also have 2 more. I got one right there and one on the other side over there. They're just some little 12-volt LED lights, and I'm gonna have them kind of running down behind the holes here. And I have to get that little I don't even know what it's called, but it's gonna make your lights go on and off, a little switch. And I might do like another interior switch right somewhere over here, just so I can, you know, have lights when I need be. I did say that might have been the last electrical component in the last episode, but there is one more, and that's the headlights and the turn signals. I did not address any of that stuff yet. Truth be told, I did make some headlights maybe 1.5 years ago in my old shop. They're actually sitting in that box right there. I broke one of them, so I'm not even gonna show them. They look really good, but I might change up the way I wanna do these headlights. Usually in the R1, the other car, I have the blinker signals in the headlights themselves, But I think I want actual little turn signals here. And they usually have those little rectangle ones on these club and front ends. So I need to find those lights or make my own or something. I don't know. But that's not critical at this point. I just want to kind of jump on some of this wiring. Mainly that big mess on the inside here. So I might tool around with that for a little bit right now. Oh, and I painted my frame to that one rear window that I repaired. And upon going to try to reassemble this, I got the packing, this rubber stuff that goes around the window. And it's actually harder to use than it seems. I was actually struggling with it. So what I think I'm actually gonna do is ditch this stuff. I figure I could just wrap this around the window quite a bit of times to build up the thickness before I stick it back in this frame. No, I'm just kidding, I ain't doing that. I will not be using this stuff. I think I got another idea up my sleeve. I have to wait because I have to get a different type of material. I think this is actually too thick also, because when you bend it in half, it's pretty thick here. I know there's two different thicknesses, but this is all that Mini Spears sold. So I just grabbed this not knowing. I didn't know there was a 4 mil glass and a 5 mil glass. I actually don't even know what mil that is. My guess would be 5. It seems a little on the thicker side. But yeah, I was trying to fit this in here. I used tape and everything to try and hold this on the window, and I just could not. I gave up. And this is 5 mil glass. I thought so. It's a little bit thicker, which means I would need the thinner rubber. Now, you know what? Screw it. I might just tell you what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna get a BMX tube because it's thinner in material, and let's be honest, it's all just rubber. I don't see why it wouldn't work, but this stuff is just too thick and a pain in the ass, and I didn't want to break something, so I just put it aside, and we're just gonna go do some wiring. Okay, after a little bit of time of thinking here, I was gonna start going through this wiring, but then I realized mainly I wanted to move all this wiring to the back of the seat, back here somewhere, mainly to the left, but I still have a hell of a fuck ton of wiring over there I gotta go through. I didn't want to say the F word, but whatever. Yeah, so I got 2 main plugs here, and these go right to the computer here. And I think I'm just actually gonna mount the computer somewhere up in here. And then I can kind of re-lengthen and showing all this wiring here. This really doesn't have to live in the back. I can live wherever. That should free up some space in the back, hopefully. All right, let's see what I got here. Okay. Got the holes drilled out here on the back side. 1 and 2 each side. Perfect, all right. Put this back in here. Now, I don't really know if you really want to hard mount this in the car, but usually just slide like in a tray type of thing. But I don't see why it wouldn't be okay to do that. Let's get these in here. I won't snug these up yet. I'm just gonna kind of put these through here for now. Just when I do turn this up, it won't wiggle off to the side. All right, cool, those are tight. Now I got all this extra room here. I don't think those bolts have to be that long, so we'll just go in my little tab box here. Get something a little shorter. Actually, you know, I think I will run these longer ones. Yeah, let's run these ones. Obviously, gotta have the brass washers here. Now I kind of make these as I go, so I don't have to make them all at the end. I'll find out the thread pitch for these, and I'll just get some matching bolts for that because they do look pretty trick on there, huh? All right, let's get these guys in here. All right, perfect. So these 2 tabs here will get welded right to the back of the firewall. And it looks like I have like, I don't know, maybe this much space, 1/2 inch maybe. What's that, 13 mil for you guys over there in the, across the pond there. But plenty of wiggle room. Let's go see what it looks like in the car. The more I add in this car, the more cramped up it gets. But anyways, this is where I think I'm gonna put this. Don't worry about the welds there. They're all gonna get finished up at a later date in the build. But anyways, I think that's where I wanna stick it, right there. So it is like way under. I don't think someone would kick that or anything. I mean, I hope not, but maybe I can make a shield over it or something. Yeah, let's get that in there. I think I'm just gonna throw a couple tacks on these pins here, and that should do it. Yeah. So once that's there, then I can really kind of get this all squared away. This doesn't have to all be this long, so it can get chopped. And a lot of these plugs are gonna end up going to the back. And we got one over there and one over here. Hopefully they didn't get out of whack too much with the heat. All right, let's get it bolted in now. I did pull the computer back out when I tacked it because it's gonna get hot and you don't want to melt anything on there. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know if I should do like a 3rd mount or a 4th mount, or just leave it. I think I'm gonna get some of that sticky, thick foam and just put it in the back, so when if it does vibrate, it's actually kind of sturdy. I'm actually putting a lot of force to move that. But I think we have a winner here. I like it. We can see it's very much tucked up in there. Perfect. Should be able to get that up in there. All right, cool. I've been out now for almost, I don't know, maybe an hour, and I've only gotten like, I'd say a quarter of this done. I really, well, actually, no, not even, because I have to get all this back here chopped. But you really don't want to do this the way I'm doing it. I'm just literally cutting the excess wire out of here and then just soldering them back together. I mean, if you really have the time to do this right, you really want to de-pin this and then shorten them, and then repin it to all your plugs. I'm only doing this because I'm really confident, and it's also my car, so this is a little bit quicker too, because it would be a nightmare to really go and chase all these wires back. There she goes. Man, now I don't always make my cuts like in the same spot, because when you go to tape this, if these are all like in the same spot, it's gonna be a wide apart in your harness. So I try to just like stagger them a little bit. A little bit of flame. Here we go. Well, yeah, I've been at this for an hour now, and I still have quite a bit to go. I got this long one right here. Let's do this one next. We can do this one together. It's literally just like, there's no need for that in this car. There's perfectly need for that in the car it came out of, but
paste this one back over to, looks like it goes over to here somewhere. I think I'm gonna just fish it through right here. Something like that. Where's my snip? So what I like to do is, before I even cut this other wire, I like to just actually strip this side first, just in case something goes wrong. I still have plenty of room on the other side, if that makes sense. And always get your shrink wrap ready. I leave it in my mouth. That way I don't forget, because I have forgot before, and it's, you have to redo it again. That kind of sucks. Just cut this a little big right there. There we go. Now, hard to see on camera. Let's see if I can get this whole thing. It's pretty long. Like, this is how much I'm cutting out of here, this harness. This is a 2-foot piece easily. I could measure it right now, the tape, and it's like 2 feet of wire that's unneeded. And I don't even really know if I'm doing the solder thing the right way, but this is just the way I've been doing it for years. I am not a soldering technician whatsoever. I just like to twirl each end like that. Let's go through right here. Yeah, right there. And I'll just twist them like halfway, right about there. Give them a little twist. Obviously, this isn't a strong joint as is, but that solder is really gonna hold together. I try and twist it like that so it keeps the same diameter as the whole wire there. You really don't want big bumps in your harness here. This is also hard to do with the tripod in my face. There we go. Perfect. I'm pretty confident in the way I do these. These are pretty strong. Still hot. I don't think they're going anywhere. I mean, you couldn't hang from it from the ceiling, but I bet that would be stronger than, I bet it would snap right at the end rather than where the solder is, if I was to really yank on it. Nice and cool. You never want to rush the shrink wrap either. If you do it right away, it's going to shrink before you get it over the solder, then you're going to have some problems too. And again, just take this one wire at a time. You start cutting like 2 or 3, 4 wires at a time, you're gonna get a mistake somewhere and then you'll never know what happened. But just take it one wire at a time. It's literally just all about time. It's gonna take forever. But I'm gonna leave you guys here. And I'm gonna keep working on this and see if I can make it smaller. And the tape's really gonna pull this all together. I did a little bit up top here, but yeah, there's still loads of this to go, but whatever. You gotta start somewhere. There's no good way to do this either. You just gotta kind of pick a spot and do it. I mean, the ones I'm already shortening, I might even have to go back and re-lengthen some of them or some even more. I don't really know, but you gotta start somewhere, and you really can't lay them all out and spread it all out without just, you know, like how would you like unravel all that? And you can't. You just kind of have to guess and go for it. I think I'm just gonna keep working on this, and I'll show you when it's done. And then I think I don't know, let's see what I'm gonna do with these plugs. I don't know if I want to fish them to the back yet or just connect them. I think actually the main harness, there's a bunch of, like an octopus section, so I might actually have to lengthen these all the way to the rear of the car there, which, there's a good, like maybe, I'm gonna say 55 wires, so I guess. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, in that spot for an hour, my toes are cramped up. Look at that. It's like 90 degrees right there. I can barely move my toes. They hurt like a son of a bitch, but there's no way to get comfortable to do this. It sucks.
All right, after hours of work, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours, I finished all these wires. You can see they're all cut and chopped and shortened. I went back and counted them, and there is 57 wires that I have went through, which is pretty crazy. And I still have to go through a little bit right here, but that's I don't think that's gonna affect us. But mainly next, I can get this taped up, and hopefully it'll look pretty good. But yeah, 57 wires had to go through. And here's my little pile. It don't look like much in right here, but trust me, his is quite a bit of work for how little that chunk was. It didn't look too bad. Let me get this taped up and it'll really look pretty good. But this is just like a scratch in what I have left to do, which is over on that table over there. There's a crap ton. But this is a good starting point for sure. The tape really did clean it up in here pretty good. Now, I did already start relocating these plugs here. I did do this one loom, just kind of right here for now. It's not going to stay there, or maybe it will. But I just have it going right to the back for now. I left it plain long enough. I think that's a good length anyways. But I did run out of Tesa tape, and I did run out of heat shrink wrap. So I think this is where I'm going to leave this one for now, guys. So by the next time, this should be all set. These plugs will be to the back. These relay switches will be in the back, and there's like one fuse here. I might leave it over here, but I'll probably just send it to the back. I don't really know yet. But I think I'm gonna leave this one here, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.